So this episode of Fairy Tail, a couple things to talk about. For starters, the main thing about this episode that a lot of people will comment and their judgment of it will be is based on perception. Because on one half, you could look at this big fight between Jura and Jellal, and you could look at it and say, oh man, Jellal was trolled, Hero did him wrong, he shouldn't have got trolled like that with Ultir doing the spicy things in his mouth or whatever. There's one way you could look at it, and you could also look at it as it was just a joke and it was kind of funny. So, it's really, at the end of the day, perception when it comes to this episode, whether you took it as a joke or whether you took it as, wow, the character got did dirty. Because basically this episode was 3 different fights. 2 of them was really, the first one definitely was kind of irrelevant. It was just whatever. I liked seeing it, but for the most part it was just characters that I don't really care for. Second fight was kind of cool, Orga, but Orga just basically beasted. It was, I believe it was Orga versus Warcry, if I'm correct, and it was literally, a massacre. Orga for the win. Although I think the animation studio kind of did a error on this particular episode, because I remember Orga's lightning being, completely black, and in the actual anime it was kind of yellow. So a little mess up there, but nothing big. And then we get the third fight, and it was awesome up until the end, to be honest with you. It was really both of them pulling out all the stops. It starts off with Jellal seeing if he could just half-ass it by using some borrowed magic from Mystigan. Didn't really work. And then after a while, basically, he's about to go all out, but it might blow his cover. And Ultir doesn't want that to happen. So basically, he gets kind of joked out of the whole thing. And to be honest with you, if I was in Fairy Tail and I saw what happened, I would have been laughing my ass off and making fun of him, because he looked like a complete jackass while he's there laughing on the floor and is he's just about to do this epic thing, there's clouds over the stadium, and then all of a sudden he's on the floor getting tickled to death, and everyone, including Jura, are what the hell is going on? Because the fight was building up to climax, and it was just holy shit, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? And then he's on the floor laughing. So, again, to be honest, this is the type of episode where it's perception. Do you see it as it was a joke? Do you see it as he was done dirty? Which do you really see it as? For me, to be honest with you, it's a little bit of both. I'm a little let down because I remember reading this in the manga, of course, and feeling the same way. It was it was an epic fight, and I kind of wanted to see an outcome that was just, a straight-up victory, the Jura or Jellal winning in an actual way. But at the same time, it was kind of funny, and, you got Melody and Ultir, and it was just kind of funny to see, but still, it's mixed emotions. Again, it's really, at the end of the day, perception with this particular episode, but I did like seeing the fight sequences. They were done very well. We got, 2 chapters adapted into this one, and then we get something at the end, which I want to definitely foreshadow that. Really pay attention. Basically, at the end, instead of, Lucy doing the narration at the end, or anybody else, it was actually Levy. So pay attention to that, because she's talking as if something crazy is about to happen. And we even get Charla. She basically says, oh, what's this feeling? Is this a premonition? What's going on? So definitely something very important at the end. Overall, I'd give it a pretty decent episode. It was you got awesome fights. Well, definitely the Jura and Jellal fight was the awesome one. The other 2 fights were just, they were all right. Orga pretty much just destroyed his opponent in one attack. And the first fight, I just didn't really, it was cool, but I didn't really care for it, because they almost feel as though they're fodder characters, so whatever. And overall, it was a decent episode. But let me know what you think. As far as perception goes, did you see it as trolling? Did you see it as a joke? Did you not even care? For me, I was laughing, but at the same time, I was we'll see what happens next, though. But that's all I have for this quick review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see what's going to happen next, because for anime-only viewers, I'd imagine this is pretty entertaining. A lot more so than the manga, because you're getting 2 chapters in 1 episode. You're getting a lot of content, and we're building up to something pretty cool. So that's all I have. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.